Hi, I'm Grant Philbeck. I'm the Vice President of Erie County Young Democrats. I'm also a committee man for the Erie County Democratic Party. I'm here with Jill Beck, who's running for Superior Court of Pennsylvania. Jill, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much, Grant. My name is Jill Beck. I am from Allegheny County. I live in the city of Pittsburgh with my husband and 2 kids, and I am running for statewide Superior Court.
Now, so a lot of people question it, a lot of people might not know exactly what the Superior Court does. Can you tell us the roles and functions of the court?
Sure. The Superior Court is the Court of Appeals for criminal, civil, family, juvenile, and orphans court matters. It is an error-correcting court that ensures that the decision of the court below is supported by the law and is the correct result for the Commonwealth.
And can you tell us a little bit about your law background? You have some incredible experiences. Can you just let us into the functions that you've done?
Sure. I started my legal career at a nonprofit organization called Kids Voice. I represented abused and neglected children there. I had about 200 kids on my caseload at any given time. Those were kids aged birth to 21. And so as you can imagine, there were a lot of different needs involved, which translated into a lot of advocacy and a lot of time in court. All told, I tried about 1,400 cases while there, and that had me in the orphans court, the juvenile court, the family court. I represented them when they had minor brushes with the law in criminal matters, but most importantly, I was in the Superior Court, filing appeals, defending appeals, and orally arguing before that court. So I really got a good sense of the Superior Court from the practitioner side. But I also know that role from the other side of the bench, having spent 10 years in the chambers of Christine Donahue. I was with her for 6 years on the Superior Court and 4 years on the Supreme Court. And while I was there, I drafted over 500 decisions of the very kind that I'll decide when elected to the Superior Court. I also was responsible in Justice Donahue's chambers for reviewing all proposed rule changes to the rules of procedure for any of the courts in Pennsylvania. And so I know the black letter law of the court, I know the rules of procedure for the courts going into the court, and of course I know the law that comes out of the court, having drafted those decisions. When I made the decision that I wanted to think about running and pursue a potential run for the Superior Court, I unfortunately had to leave the court. You aren't allowed to do any political activity while working for the courts, and that would include, of course, running for office. So I left Justice Donahue's chambers and joined the firm Blank Rome. It was a law firm that I chose because of its commitment to public service. I am someone who's worked since the age of 16, and working for Blank Rome was my first time working for a for-profit company. So working for a company that had a strong commitment to free legal services and providing services to the public was very important to me. I told Blank Rome in my interview that while I absolutely wanted to work for them, I also wanted to pursue a potential run for the Superior Court, and they were very welcoming and very supportive. They brought me in on their civil litigation team where I represented businesses, financial institutions, and nonprofit organizations, but I took full advantage of their commitment to public service, representing victims of domestic violence in protection from abuse actions, helping protect our right to vote and our elections, doing work on housing insecurity through the COVID crisis, and just generally helping people without money get the same rights and protections as people who do. I did that in both the criminal realm and the civil realm, in courts of common pleas and in appellate courts across the country.
And that's something that I really like about you. You just have all types of experience that's really necessary for the Superior Court. Now, a lot of, I would call them doubters sometimes, they ask, why aren't you running for the Court of Common Pleas? And also, with that being said, why aren't you running, do you have to be a judge to run for the Superior Court already?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, I will say that I am certainly not blazing any trails here running as an attorney for the Superior Court. We've had many phenomenal jurists do the same. 2, for example, Christine Donahue and Deborah Todd are currently Supreme Court justices. They went straight from practice to the Superior Court. Kate Ford Elliott served with distinction for decades on the Superior Court and took a very similar path as I have, working for the court, going into private practice, and then ascending to the bench. So I like to say I am following a very well-laid path for myself. But I also say this, I have absolutely nothing but respect for common pleas judges. They have an extremely difficult job in their own right, but it's a very different job from that of the Superior Court judge. Common pleas judges are managing a courtroom, they're managing a docket, They're managing people, witnesses, victims, juries, litigants. They're managing the evidence that comes in. They are building the factual record of the entire case. Yes, they absolutely make legal rulings, but the majority of them are in the moment. It's an objection, an answer, legal ruling. The Superior Court is really none of that. It's a very quiet, contemplative court. To start, there really are no people. The Superior Court judges will hear oral argument from the attorneys in a small percentage of the cases. The majority of the cases are all on paper, and it's reading, research, writing, repeat over and over again. So we're looking at the factual record, the witnesses, all the testimony. That all happens below. It comes up on paper. The Superior Court ensures a thorough review of the record, a thorough research of the law involved, and then puts that together, facts to law, law to facts, as if it's a puzzle, and puts it into a succinctly written decision that ideally everyone from a most seasoned attorney in the Commonwealth to a pro se litigant can understand. And those are skills that I have built, both as a practitioner in the Superior Court and as someone who has drafted the decisions of that court. So, in my view, my skills, my background, my experience, they lend directly to the Superior Court.
Awesome. And so how can people help out on your campaign trying to get you elected to this position? What can people do, everyday people do?
We have a lot going on the campaign right now. We're closing in on the primary, which is May 18th. Of course, one thing everybody can do is vote. I would love to have your support on May 18th. Other things you can do is make phone calls for the campaign, canvass, knock doors, talk to voters on my behalf. My campaign will provide whatever support we can to anyone who's willing to volunteer and help out. We have scripts, we have turf, we have lists. We will provide anything we can to help make this easy. We will help train you if you want to learn how to do it. Please, you can reach out to my campaign. The email address is info, I-N-F-O, at Jill Beck, my name, jillbeck.com. You could also check out my website, which of course is jillbeck.com. And our social media has a lot of information, which you can learn about me, my candidacy, and what's going on in the campaign. And those all have the same handle, Elect Jill Beck.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to vote for you on May 18th, and I know my family is as well. I think you're one of the most qualified candidates. I'm really excited, so thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Grant.